Are you looking for inspiration and insight from a dynamic leader and visionary thinker? Look no further than Vivek Ramaswamy, the entrepreneur and author who has been making waves with his bold ideas and fearless approach to challenging the status quo. In this video, we've curated some of Vivek's most thought-provoking and inspiring quotes, covering topics ranging from leadership and diversity to empathy and authenticity. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired by Vivek Ramaswamy's words of wisdom. I think one of the most important things we can do as human beings are to really embrace the idea that we're all in this together. Vivek Ramaswamy. I think that one of the most important things we can do as individuals is to really try to understand the people around us. Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe that the key to solving many of our problems lies in understanding and empathy. Vivek Ramaswamy. In a world that is increasingly polarized, we need to find common ground and work together to create a better future for everyone. Vivek Ramaswamy. We can't solve problems by attacking each other. We need to have a more respectful and productive conversation. Vivek Ramaswamy. I think that we all have a responsibility to do our part in making the world a better place. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to recognize that our differences don't have to divide us. They can actually make us stronger if we learn to work together. Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe that every human being has inherent value and dignity, and we should all be treated with respect and kindness. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to focus on what unites us rather than what divides us, and work towards a shared vision of a better future. Vivek Ramaswamy. I think that we can all make a positive impact in the world if we choose to act with compassion and understanding towards one another. Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe that a good society is one in which people can pursue their own visions of the good life, so long as they don't harm others in the process. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to recognize that true progress is not achieved by silencing opposing viewpoints, but by engaging in respectful and productive dialogue. Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe that we have a moral obligation to speak truth to power, even if it means going against the prevailing narrative. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to create a culture that values intellectual diversity and open discussion, rather than shutting down dissenting voices. Vivek Ramaswamy. I think that empathy and understanding are the keys to building bridges between people with different views and experiences. Vivek Ramaswamy. We should always strive to be guided by reason and evidence, rather than letting emotions and prejudices cloud our judgment. Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe that the most effective way to bring about change is through peaceful means, such as dialogue and activism. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to reject the false choice between individual rights and collective well-being. Both are important and can be balanced. Vivek Ramaswamy. I think that we can build a better future if we embrace complexity and nuance, rather than simplifying complex issues into slogans or sound bites. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to have the courage to challenge the status quo, even if it means going against popular opinion or powerful interests. Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe that we should strive to be humble and open-minded, always willing to learn from others and admit when we're wrong. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to be careful not to let our identities become our ideology, and instead remain open to evolving our views based on new evidence and experiences. Vivek Ramaswamy. I think that one of the most important things we can do as individuals is to try to make a positive impact on the people around us, no matter how small. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to create spaces where people feel safe to express their opinions, even if they differ from the mainstream. Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe that innovation and progress are only possible when we're willing to take risks and challenge the status quo. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to reject the notion that there is only one right way to think or act, and instead embrace the diversity of thought and action. Vivek Ramaswamy. I think that we can build a more compassionate and just society if we learn to empathize with those who are different from us. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to recognize that there is more to life than material success, and that true happiness comes from cultivating meaningful relationships and experiences. Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe that we have a responsibility to leave the world a better place than we found it, and that starts with taking action in our own communities. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to remember that progress is a journey, not a destination, and that it requires ongoing effort and commitment. Vivek Ramaswamy. I think that one of the most important things we can do as individuals is to cultivate a sense of gratitude for the people and things in our lives. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to recognize that our differences are a strength, not a weakness, and that diversity of thought and experience is what drives progress. Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe that true leadership involves empowering others to achieve their full potential, rather than seeking power for its own sake. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to create a culture where it's okay to make mistakes and learn from them, rather than punishing people for taking risks. Vivek Ramaswamy. I think that the best way to build a better future is by focusing on what we can do today, rather than waiting for someone else to solve our problems. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to reject the idea that there is only one right way to live, and instead embrace the richness and diversity of human experience. Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe that empathy is the foundation of a compassionate society and that we should strive to understand and support each other, even when we disagree. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to remember that progress is not a zero-sum game, and that we can work together to create win-win solutions that benefit everyone. Vivek Ramaswamy. I think that the best way to overcome fear and division is by building meaningful connections with people who are different from us. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to recognize that our values and beliefs are not fixed and that we have the power to change and grow over time. Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe that we should always strive to be our authentic selves, rather than trying to fit into someone else's mold. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to challenge the prevailing wisdom and ask difficult questions, rather than accepting the status quo. Vivek Ramaswamy. I think that we can create a more just and equitable world by working together to dismantle the systems of oppression that hold us back. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to cultivate a sense of curiosity and wonder, and approach life with an open mind and heart. Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe that success is not measured by material wealth or status, but by the impact we have on the world and the people around us. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to reject the idea that there is only one path to happiness or fulfillment, and instead embrace the diversity of human experience. Vivek Ramaswamy. I think that we can achieve great things when we work towards a common goal, rather than focusing solely on our individual pursuits. Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to create spaces where people feel free to express themselves and share their ideas, without fear of judgment or ridicule. Vivek Ramaswamy. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe to Best Quotes YouTube channel.